Hey, what is up, guys? My name is Harrison Barron, the Millennial Entrepreneur. Now, in this video, I want to talk to you guys about how to get some more leads for your business. So, if you're watching this, I'm hoping that you're at the point now where you're getting some traffic to your website, but you're really not getting the leads that you want. Now, if you aren't getting traffic to your website, there are plenty of other videos on this channel that you should definitely go watch first. This is mainly for people that are getting traffic to their website. When I say getting traffic, I mean you should be getting anywhere between 300 to about 1,000 minimum visits per month. And the reason why it's such a large range is because every niche is different, and ultimately 300 visitors per month might be a lot in really, really specific niches, and how do you ultimately convert them over? So there's a couple different things when we work, when I say we, I mean my agency, when we work with other businesses, what we see as major gaps in the marketplace and what they're essentially missing. So when I say missing, there's something broken between that person coming on or visiting that website to submitting information to ultimately buy. And it's about finding that gap and either minimizing or getting rid of that gap completely. So the first thing that we have to do is ultimately do an analysis of where people are coming in on the website. Now, if people are landing on your homepage, chances are pretty good they're going directly to your website. Also, to keep in mind, that's probably not the best traffic, believe it or not. I'm not saying that your home page is a good spot to drive traffic to, but if you're getting backlinks from other people and they're all going to your homepage, they might not find the information they need. So however you're acquiring backlinks, if you're driving them back to the homepage, it's not going to be the most beneficial. What you want to do is you want to look at the traffic that's really coming in from ideally your blog, right? Because I preach content marketing, creating content and things like that. So you have to go find the content where people are landing. And typically, if you have 50 or 100 blogs on your website, there will be several blogs that have 90% of the traffic, right? That's usually the case. Now, for really experienced bloggers, you might be able to break it up in where everybody's getting 2 or 3% or 5% of that traffic. But ultimately, you need to really drill down and say, hey, what are the top 5 or top 10 performing blogs, and why are they not driving traffic? And you need to take a real hard, honest look at them. What are they talking about, right? There's typically questions that you're going to be trying to, or questions you're answering with those blogs, or at the end of the blog, there's no way, or there's no incentive, or there's no spark of interest to help somebody say, hey, you know what? I need to go hire this company. And ultimately, when you start to implement that, that is the first and most basic step. So, hey, if you're experiencing any of these issues or you need further help, feel free to reach out, schedule 15 minutes on our calendar or something like that. Something where it's super passive and just says, hey, look, if you fall into this category and you really can't figure it out, give us a call. Like, that is one of the easiest ways to get traffic. There's no doubt about it. And I say this because people don't like being pressured, and I really cannot stand high pressure sales. They are the absolute worst. And people are Googling all the time. So when you're doing content creation, you're doing content marketing where you have YouTube videos and blogs and maybe a podcast or something like that, and you're driving all this traffic back to your website, ultimately you can then think to yourself, hey, you know what? I'm driving all this traffic back to my website, but I never really gave people the openness or the opportunity to reach out to us. A lot of people, believe it or not, which I can't believe I'm saying this, are actually afraid to reach out. They'll just say, oh, you know what? I appreciate the information. Let me go on to the next person. They never were told that they're welcome to reach out, and because of that, they may never call, right? Even though you as the business know that you could probably solve their problems, they aren't reaching out because you didn't let them know it's possible. This is one of the more basic sales techniques where you have to let them know it's okay, to either say, hey, I've liked this meeting or I didn't like this meeting, or what'd you find valuable, or giving them permission essentially to say, hey, would it make sense to schedule another call, or would it make sense for us to do business together, right? It's giving permission. It's allowing that person to say, yeah, I do need help. I really do. Or that's the first option, right? It's hey, I need help. Yes, it's okay to reach out, right? Here's time on my calendar. Here's a contact email. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. Whatever that looks like for you and your business, that is tremendously important. If it's a free 15-minute phone call or 30-minute phone call, let them book it right there. Hey, speak to one of our experts, right? Things like that. Now, on the flip side of things, something else that you can do is nurturing an email list. And a lot of people, especially in the business world, seem to not quite understand the whole point of building an email list and ultimately how to get people in there. So when somebody goes and reads one of your blogs or is on your homepage, they want something, right? They're looking for something. If they're landing on your homepage and going right to the services that you offer, they're already going to be a buyer. Like in theory, right? You want them to land on your homepage, go find what they need, and then ultimately call you to do business with you. Those are not the people we're trying to target. The people we're trying to target are people that are reading your blog who actually need your services and could probably afford your services, but aren't ready to buy. And the key important thing is how do you capture their information ultimately on your website so that way you can then say, down the road when they're actually really ready and they've felt, sounds horrible, but felt enough pain, right? Something's not going right and they need to pay somebody to resolve it. Hopefully that somebody is you. So you have to create a reason for them to give you their information so that way you can then add them to an email list. So what are examples of that? Checklists, right? Workbooks, ebooks for them to read, right? There's a famous example by an author who owns a company called Rivers, Pools, and Spas over in Virginia. It's called They Ask You Answers, the book. And basically, they made a almost 100-page book that when you click download on it, it downloads onto your computer, right? And you can read all 100 pages in exchange for your email address. And the cool part is it breaks down every detail, every question somebody may have ultimately almost forever, right? That book is a living piece where it might not be extremely applicable right now or or in the past, but as time goes on, or little parts of it become old and potentially not needed anymore, but there's still people looking for that, right? Like if concrete pools went out or fiberglass pools went out, right? You still want to learn about them because somebody, or you might be buying a house that has one. So upkeep and things like that, and maybe why you want to switch to a different one. But ultimately, you can create these like, I call them white papers, like leave papers, some people call them, but essentially free paper that you can give, or free information that you can give to somebody in exchange for an email address. And that kind of gives the detailed breakdown. It really kind of does a deeper dive into what you offer, how you can help people, how you've helped people, potentially some success stories and things like that in there. And this is going to help you tremendously because now that they're going to have something on their computer, they're going to have something that they can read later. If it's really good information, they'll end up reading it later on. And now you have their email address. So you can send them messages and you could put, little links in there back to your content, right? Hey, by the way, if you want to learn more about this, read our full blog here, right? And this is one way to, one, get them to keep coming back and keep coming back and keep coming back. But two, now you have them on an email list where you can then send emails. So you'll be able to send emails regularly to these people and essentially, attack is not the right word, but share information, right? Send things to their inbox where, hey, by the way, we know that you downloaded this book, or we know that you downloaded this worksheet, right? This might be an additional benefit that might be able to help you, or here's a work through, or here's a workaround guide, or here's a tutorial on how we do some of our stuff, or these are some of the biggest questions that people ask us, right? And you can send them email after email after email. Typically, after about 90 days is when people really start to buy. Because when people are doing preliminary research online, they might give out an email address, but they're not ready to buy right there and then. If they were ready to buy, they probably would have called you if your call to action at the end of the blog article was strong enough. If they're in enough pain, they'll reach out and they'll call you right away to just say, hey, let's make a change right now. But the vast majority of other people are getting preliminary information. And that preliminary information will then help them make a better and more highly educated decision. So why not be the provider of that highly relevant information? So that way, when they're ready to actually move forward, they go to you as opposed to a competitor because you added a tremendous amount of value to them as opposed to hiding something. I never quite understood the reason to hide everything. You should kind of lay out all your cards. Now, there's always industry secrets that you need to keep because that's what gives you the benefit of, over anybody else. But you could be one of the few people that actually puts it on paper and then gives it out to people and says, hey, by the way, here's a free training, here's a free webinar, here's this, this is how we do this. If you're curious to know about this, whatever it is, right? There's plenty of ways and plenty of things that people want without most people even realizing. So if you're getting, 300 to 1,000 clicks per month, there's a couple things, there's two main things that you need to do. One, strong call to action at the end of every blog. Nothing like, you don't want to come off really strong and be like, no, you need to buy our product. But like, hey, by the way, if you're interested in checking out more, or if you found this article interesting, or if you want to join our subscription service, click here, whatever it is. That's one phenomenal way we see work all the time. And the best part is when you do this on every single blog, it'll start to build this email list over time. It works phenomenally. We deploy it for almost all of our customers. Now, on the flip side of things, if you want to give away these free ebooks or whatever it is, find out what you can give away. Maybe it's a checklist. Maybe it's something like, hey, you're a mechanic. Hey, does your car do this? Does it have a squeak here? Here's a 16-point checklist to figure out your car's basic health, right? Without being a mechanic. Look at your brakes. Do the brakes look good? Look at the tires. Is there enough rubber on the tires? How to tell if there's enough rubber on the tires, right? Is your windows free and clear of streaks and foreign liquids or whatever it may be, right? Whatever it is for you, come up with either a checklist, a workbook, something like that somebody can physically take home, and they will eventually go through it. Now, not everybody is going to do that, but you now have gotten an email address for somebody that may be a potential customer, and you're now way further ahead compared to your competitors. And two, they trust you. They've already gotten some value from you. So when they're ready to purchase, it's going to be a much easier sale. And hint, hint, you can ask for more money because you've already added a crazy amount of value. So this is what separates people that are struggling to get leads versus people that are getting active leads on their business. Now, this is not for selling a subscription service or selling online products, although it can be used. This is definitely going to work significantly better if you're in that B2B or high ticket item space where somebody needs to get on the phone with somebody. If it's, buy our online product or something like that, you could just drive them over there. But for the higher end tickets, it's a no-brainer. Put out that stuff that can help convert people and over time, and you'll build that email list. And eventually people will fall off. But if you do it right, you should be having more people come in than fall off, and you keep sending out those emails once a week or twice a week. If you're slow, once every other week, or if you really don't like doing it, once a month. But you can get in the habit of doing that and keeping people refreshed on who you are, what you do, and how you might be able to help solve their problems. And that is ultimately, one, how you build value, and two, get way better leads from your website. My name is Harrison Barron, the Millennial Entrepreneur. I hope you guys found value in this video. I actually really like this video. This is cool. I'm doing 120 videos in 120 days, so if you guys found this interesting, hit that like button so more people can see videos like this. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss one of my 120 videos that I'm going to be releasing over the next 4 months. So I had to do the math in my head. But I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope you guys are starting your 2021 off right, and I will see you guys on the next one. Till then, I'll see you guys later.